back, coming at you another dish that crack of sauce. Man, it's going to be a good time. I'm excited. Hoedown season right around the corner. October 1st, we're going to light this thing up. We're going to run in October through February. So thanks to Logan for helping me get this going again this year. Him and a few others kept the ball rolling last year. So thank you. It's going to be a good time. We always do this hoedown kind of, oh man, look at this. Look at that. Here you go, start. Ooh, my eyes looking at you. There we go. Anyways, we always do this hoedown. We've been doing it a few years now. It's kind of a fun way for newbies to maybe stretch their zone a little bit, get you ready if you go to like a real contest somewhere else, because there's a lot going on. You go to a real contest, they got the task board every day. You got to figure out all the new verbiage and the new vocabulary and how to mess with your instrument. And it's just a lot to do that and go flying. So we figure with this hoedown running for a few months here during our winter season, you get all the instrument stuff and all that stuff figured out, so that when you go to a contest somewhere else, you can just concentrate on flying, Plus, it's just a good time to kind of zip around with your friends, kind of have a goal for the day and figure some things out. So with that being said, today I'm gonna go through task one. Usually we do these at the meetings every season, every month, but our meetings, because of the COVID thing, it's kind of harder to do if we do them at the training hill. I don't know if we're going to be doing the Rusty's thing this year. So I think I'm going to do them on, just make a video, you know what I mean? So it's out there. So I'm going to do just explain a few options for this short little task. This first task, we always start the task really short and we kind of grow them as the season goes longer, stretch out your zone where we're going to have you cruising around to. And then after that, for the newbies, I'm going to explain what a race to goal format is, some of the vocabulary that goes along with that, waypoints and cylinders, goals, all that. And so that way, if you already know all that, you just scrub on through, you know what I mean? Go on your way, go get you a flight. So all right, here we go. We're going to talk about task one. Our hoedown image this year kind of brought up a little controversy. I'm sorry. Some people get upset about some things. Some people don't get upset about other things. I don't know, man. I don't know. We might change it. I don't know. It's okay. It's all love, baby. I love all you people. You know what I mean? It's all right. So anyway, let's get right down to it. Here's the new page. So if you go to SBHoedown.com, it's going to have a little info about the contest. It's always free. We just ask you to join SBSA membership. That's what keeps our sites open, keeps us rolling. And shop local wherever you're at. You're at your home site, shop local, you're here, shop local, come on. Keeps the ball moving, you know what I mean? So right here we got our start gates are every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes your time will start on the half hour. So whether you leave, if you want that 11 o'clock start gate, you leave at 11 and 1 second, you're good to go. If you leave at 10:59, your start gate's going to be at 10:30. So it's going to add extra 29 minutes to your time. So just keep that in mind. Every half hour, you could do any task as many times as you want. Get faster and faster throughout the month. We usually you could do the tasks all season long too, the monthly task, but we give extra bonus points if you complete it in the correct month. So for instance, we're going to have this October task right here. This month, I named it 2 minutes. I haven't been no minutes. I haven't. I was saying, oh, good you son. It's a shorty, but it's so fun. So we're going to have a big cylinder at Montecito Peak, 3,700 meters, which puts it right around the start, right around the thermal factory. It's an exit cylinder, so you got to be inside, get at least one tick inside before you leave. And then we have a huge 9,000 meter radius from Lizard's Mouth. So that puts it right along the VOR spine. I'm going to show a few pictures of that in a minute. And that is goal. So it's just 2 waypoints, super easy, no speed section, just start to finish. And I'll show a couple different ways you can go through that. I know the big gun is going to be gunning for 1 glide. It makes it kind of fun. See how fast we can go this. I think it's about a 5 mile task, 4.5, 5 miles. So very straightforward. Montecito Peak, 3,700 meters. Lizard's Mouth, 9,000 meters. And that's it. You're still in the game at VOR if you end on the spine. So let's see. You can also, the waypoint file is going to be the same as last year. So if you already have it on your instrument, you can leave it. If not, download it from this link here. All right. So here's our task image, right? So this is Montecito Peak with this waypoint marker here. We have the 3,700 meter radius, which puts it right. It includes the antenna farm, which is right here, but it does not include the roundhouse. And it scrapes this whole piece of thermal factory. So you can sit anywhere in here to get your start. And then straight shot over, this is the VOR spine along this. So if you tag that anywhere, you reach goal. That's it. That's all you got to do. The T is over here to land if you need that. So if you're stretching out towards the LZs, you got to go a little further. You can always land. There's some fields over here. But plenty of LZs along the way, which is super cool. So let's check out a Google Earth format of this. And if anybody knows how, I used to have a tool to do it, but it no longer exists. Anybody knows how to export a task into a Google Earth file, a KML file, so that includes the cylinders and routes, please let me know, because that's a super handy thing to have. And my tool that I used to use no longer exists. So on Google Earth, I don't have that. I can use a pen to kind of show you where. But this cylinder kind of cruises just right here along the VOR spine. That's the goal one. And the start one, I think, gets thermal factory and antenna farm, but not the roundhouse. You'll see I have this thing. It's nice to keep clear of that guy's roundhouse. It's just a, we don't want to be soaring in his windows, pissing him off. So keep a couple 100 feet clear of that. No reason to be dive bombing his house. You know what I mean? Anyways, so you can start high or low. You can start up with, I believe it includes a thermal factory. I should look better. But anyways, you can start high or low, mainly for all the newbies, how to get across our range. Plenty of LZs along the way. You know, Parma and everything's right under here. If we aren't getting an antenna farm, Robbins is right below Cathedral Peak. This is Inspiration Point, popular hike. Everybody hikes up there. And this kind of bends off the west end. Robbins is a huge LZ. They're friendly there. There's also the meadows below Robbins on Hescita Trail. There's also this kind of east-facing slope right by Ontario Road. There's tons of places you can land. There's all this open space area around the Kokopah and the T area that's all kosher to land at. Lots of places to sneak it in. You can see by all the green how many LZ opportunities they are compared to if you look in the foothills of Montecito, a lot less green areas to land in. So plenty of opportunity to bail out and land, all short walks out if you have to walk at all. So very straightforward, pretty easy. So let's talk about being high at the antenna farm on your start gate. So you could bounce the front points all the way. Weather depends every day. You could do a different one day to the next. So the front points would be, you'd start at the antenna farm. You'd bounce over to the tunnel tit. You'd bounce over to the cathedral, which is often especially early in the day, the most non-active thermal generator on our range. So often you probably skip it over to West Bowl, which works pretty well, over to No Name, and then at goal at VOR spine. So something like that would be a very straightforward route if you're a newbie. The hardest part on that flight is going to be Cathedral Peak. So either you want to be high at the tit and skip it, or you'll just sacrifice a little altitude, come in a little lower on these spines at West Bowl before you get up and continue. Many options to mix and match the back range. So if you want to start as high as you can, thermal factory, go to the double R. And if you get $4,000 at the double R, the two-liner folk might make that glide all the way to goal. In fact, I'm sure they will. They might have to hit it way down here, but that's one glide. Who knows? Even maybe from $5,000 at the thermal factory, they might make it all the way too. So many options to do. You could hit double R. You could cruise the back way to La Cumbra alternator, and then go on glide from alternator to VOR, or tank up at No Name, or out to West Bowl, then over. Many options. Remember, this is just a friendly contest. Nothing's worth risking your safety for. So always keep it mellow, keep those decisions just like any other flying day. You just got a goal. The goal is you want to get over to here. We always put the most amount of points towards the distance. So if you make it, you get 700 points. And then we have a slider rule for those last 300 points. So 1,000 point total tasks. So 300 points on the slider for how the times go. So as people start racing, that slider for how many points of that 300 you get, start sliding in there. And then of course, if you do it in the correct month, you get an extra 150 points. Prizes, you just have to wait and see. I don't know. But that's okay. So that's it. Straightforward. Pretty easy, right? Easy peasy. 2 minutes to heaven, better than no minutes to heaven. just like that. All right. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about what a competition even is for paragliding. We out here racing turtles, you know what I mean? That's what my friend always said. I like that. We just racing turtles. So we have a race to goal format. Race to goal format is we set up tasks and cylinders. We set cylinders within a task, and there's always a goal to get there. So it's not like just who can get the farthest. It's there's always a goal. So often most competitions will put a goal like near a landing zone. Since our tasks are all short, we try to keep our goals in the mountains so that when you complete the task, you keep flying. So if you do a 5-10 minute task, you don't have to blow your day by landing, so you keep on flying. And these race to goal formats have some terminology that is handy to get familiar with. And a few of those are a waypoint. So what is a waypoint? Waypoint's the most basic part of this. So a waypoint is a longitude and latitude location on a map, and it usually includes the altitude too. And so we call that a waypoint. The old GPS standard was a 6 character, so we still stay with that, even though there's standards that accept 10 and 11 characters. So you always kind of see these funny all capital less than 6 character names for waypoints. Anybody can make up a waypoint. And then all these waypoints are included in a waypoint file. So at the beginning of every contest, they're going to give you a waypoint file that could include as many waypoints as they want. Ours, I think, currently has 68 waypoints. So throughout the contest, the task committee will take waypoints out of that waypoint file to make a task. So you'll take that waypoint file, you upload that to your instrument. You have that the whole contest, whether the contest is 3 days, 1 day, or a week, or like ours is for several months. And every task will be created from waypoints in that waypoint file. So then from a waypoint file, you go to the contest task board. So this is kind of our task board. And you'll see our monthly tasks are listed here. We only have one for this year. You can see more examples of more like in the URL at the top when it redirects to the actual URL. If you change 2021 to 2020, you'll see last year. So you'll see all of our tasks from last year and how people uploaded their scores and stuff if you want to see an example. But anyways, so this task, the most important part is this right here. This is the actual task on the task board. The other stuff is just generic, what our name is and stuff. So this is what you're going to use for your instrument. So the first cylinder is Montecito, the Montecito Peak Waypoint, which is MNTCTO. It's going to have a radius of 3,700 meters. So there's going to be a circle around it, 3,700 meters large. And it's an exit cylinder, meaning you have to have at least one track point inside the cylinder before leaving it, so your time will start for that cylinder. And start cylinders are usually exit or enter. Enter is the opposite way around. All cylinders after that are usually always enter cylinders. So you have to enter it, and that's when it clicks your time. So then our next waypoint for this month is mouth. For a lizard's mouth, there's always like a common name to it, plus the GPS name. So lizard's mouth is 9,000 meter radius around it. So you just have to tag it somewhere in there. You could tag it at any point. You could go in it as deep as you want, but to be most efficient, you could just tag it, turn around, and go to the next one. But for us, this is goal. So when it has the marker goal at the end, that means that's the end of the race. Another common terminology you'll see is ESS, end of speed section. They created end of speed section a while back so that people weren't on full speed bar smashing into the ground. So if you had a goal at a landing zone and you did not have an end of speed section, people would time it as close as they can and go as fast as they can and smash into goal. And so people were getting injured. There's problems with that. So what they did was they made an end of speed section. So you can have another waypoint and cylinder. You could just have a bigger one around your goal one that ends your time. So if like right before this, if we had another cylinder, or if we had mouth 11,000 meters ESS, and then we had mouth 9,000 meters goal, the ESS would mean when you got to that 11,000 meter radius around the task, around the waypoint, your time would stop. But you have as much time as you need till the task ends to get to goal. However, wouldn't get any distance points unless you do make it to goal. So your time stops, but now you can just cruise it. You don't have to worry about going fast and to get to the goal. So hopefully that makes sense. So basically you have a waypoint and a bunch of waypoints to create a waypoint file. To make a task, we use cylinders around those waypoints with either an exit or enter marking. We have an end of speed section sometimes. We'll probably use those more at the end of our contest. We keep it real simple at the beginning. And we have a goal. And then we get points for your distance made, and you get points for your time in that race. So that's pretty much how it is. On every task board, there's usually gonna be a place for you to download that waypoint file. So we have a link right here under waypoint files, so you can get it. That includes that 68 waypoints. Using your instrument, some instruments are much more difficult to create these tasks in than others. A lot of modern ones, you can just click a QR code. I'll usually post one with every task. A lot of them you have to put them in manually. I love Fly Sky High. It's an app on the iPhone. I've been using it for years. I also use it as my Vario because iPhone 8 and later has an amazing gyro and accelerometer that makes very sensitive beeping for when you're flying. So I just have it all in one. It's very simple. I think I have another video on how to use Fly Sky High. You can either scan in the QR code or you can put these in on the fly. I change them when I'm in the air sometimes for if I want to do multiple tasks in one day. You can easily change that on your phone. So there's lots of ways to do it, but that's it. That's it. We're going to fly the hoedown. It's starting, baby. Let's go. Love you guys. See ya.